Welcome to Out for the Count TV. Today we're joined by the Commonwealth Super Flyweight champion, Emma Dolan. How are you doing, Emma?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Before we get into everything, I'd like to just find out how you got into boxing, if that's all right.
Yeah, yeah. My brother was boxing first. I believe he's watching Rocky or something on the telly and that, and he started going out with my dad basically twice a week on a Tuesday and a Thursday, and I was sort of at home, and I thought, oh, what are they up to? Where are they going? So I went along with them once just to sort of see what they were up to, and they happened to be going to the boxing gym. So I went down there and I watched a few times, and eventually got coached into sort of doing it, and just loved it. Never looked back. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I can imagine they're your biggest fans.
Yeah, yeah, it's brilliant. My brother doesn't box anymore, but he's watched me and that progress on that, and my dad's my best mate anyway, so he's
Brilliant.
he's happy.
Yeah. So before turning pro, you had 49 amateur bouts, winning 39 of those. You've also boxed for England. How well did that set you up for turning pro, and what are the main lessons you learned from the amateurs?
Yeah, I learned a lot from the amateurs. I learned, valuable lessons like how to control when pressure's on you. Different level of opposition. Boxing a few times in a weekend. Training, sort of loads of different lessons from the amateurs. It's obviously a completely different game to professional game, but a lot of the things mindset wise, and then a lot of the things like of the depth of the people you're fighting, they're probably a little bit deeper in the women's top level amateur to it is at the minute pro. So I took a lot away from that. Yeah, and obviously boxing for England was a big achievement, and not just sort of making it on the team, actually representing my country and boxing in bouts and that for England. So it was really good, put me in good stead for when I turned over.
Yeah, yeah, I can imagine boxing for GB must have been a proud moment. So yeah, fast forward to 2021, you turned pro, and in your first bout, you managed to get a 53-second TKO stoppage. Did you surprise yourself in that fight, or was it always your intention?
I don't know. To be honest with you, that's the first fight after COVID. So I had I think it was about 2 years out the ring. I mean, I turned pro really a little bit earlier than I was going to because COVID sort of put a standstill on the amateur boxing. So I was just wired to death, I think. It was the first time I boxed at home in about 6, 7 years, and I was just full of it, and I just couldn't wait to get in there. And I just went at this poor old girl. She's a lovely girl. I got on well with her now, but it was her debut as well. And I just like went for it. I thought I'm going to go right through you, and I did like 53 seconds. But yeah, it was couldn't have planned a better debut if I tried.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a way to make an impression, that's how you do it.
Yeah, it was
Yes,
brilliant.
yeah. So you went on to have a few more fights, winning on points, and then you decided to change trainers. You're now fighting under Carl Greaves. What made you feel the need to change things up, and what made you choose Carl?
I just felt like I needed it to develop in my career and everything. That where I was, I just felt like I needed a bit of a change to sort of develop myself and push forwards in the game and that. And I went to a few different boxing gyms, and obviously went to Carl was one of them, and I just got on with him really well straight away. I mean, he's a brilliant trainer, but for me, a lot of boxers are probably different. For me, it's very important to have your trainer as like a good mate as well. And I know I can go over Carl's anytime I want for a cup of tea and everything like that. So he's obviously a brilliant trainer, but like he's a good friend as well. And so we've got a very good relationship, and he knows how I'm feeling before I feel it most of the time. So it's how it should be. You and your trainer should be really, in sync in that, because obviously, you're spending so much time together, and, they're sort of in charge of your career and your life and that really. So, there's that side of it. And then obviously brilliant trainer. We sort of just gelled together straight away, and he's improved my game no end sort of thing. Being sort of just a long range boxer, he's made me a sort of box fighter now. I can box on the inside. I can, my body work's really improved. So yeah, I've got a lot to thank for him.
Yeah, I have heard good things about Carl. Specifically, what sort of like areas has he improved your game then?
Yeah, specifically, it'd be my inside work. I mean, um, probably about a couple of years ago, well, about a year ago, my inside work was fine, but you know, it was okay. You would have got so far, and then if you had a really good inside fighter, they probably would have got a bit weak in that area. But he's really because obviously that's how he used to fight. He was a hooker, and he was a strong inside fighter. He could obviously box in that as well, but that was his sort of domain. he's helped my game no endless. You know, working on the inside, working from long range to mid to short, working on sitting on shots and getting inside and loading up on shots, and yeah, it's really helped.
Brilliant. And obviously, I think things are obviously going well with Carl, as you managed to get a unanimous decision victory against Halima Vunjabi for the Commonwealth belt. How was your assessment of your performance in that fight, and how did it feel picking up your first belt?
Well, really, my performance I was happy enough with. Like, I was 10 months out the ring, and like, I'm not being funny, most people wouldn't have took a Commonwealth title fight after having 10 months out the ring, starting up with a brand new trainer, moved from their hometown somewhere else. They would have had like a warm-up fight or whatever beforehand. So went straight into the Commonwealth title, Carl, and I felt confident, had a really good camp, and obviously everything went well. I built into the fight well. Probably started okay. It was a close enough fight, and then 4 rounds in, I really built into the fight well, adapted well, and listened to my instructions. So yeah, I give myself probably 7 out of 10 for that. I was fairly happy with it, but I know I've developed a lot more since then. So it's only gonna build, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, you've got a title defence coming up against Nicola Hopewell on the GBM card, October the 6th. How's camp gone up to the run-up to this fight, and what do you make of your opponent?
Yeah, you know, camp's gone really well. I can't. There's been no problems. Everything's sort of gone to plan, really. Had really good sparring. Training's gone well. You know, everything's been good. You know, there's been no injuries, no illness, no nothing. So yeah, everything's been good. Looking forward to getting it done next week now.
Yeah. And Nicola seems very confident going into this fight. Do you have any message for her going into this?
No, look, she wants to be confident, let her be confident. You know what I mean? That'll all drain out of her as soon as the fight starts. I know what I can do, and I know how the fight's going to go out in my own head and that. So just let her believe what she wants to believe. She's got a lot of people around her, bigging her up and lifting her and that, and that's fair enough. Let them do it. But I know myself, as soon as that fight starts, I know how it's going to go.
Yeah, to be honest, I do feel like your fight with Nicola has the potential to be fight of the night. It's it's definitely a 50-50 fight, and I can't wait to watch it, to be honest. Obviously, women's boxing seems to be on the rise in the last few years. Are there any other female boxers that sort of inspire you, and who maybe you'd like to get in with the ring in future?
Well, the ones that inspire me, I don't particularly want to fight them, sort of thing. But I mean, yeah, there's loads of good girls out there. You know, one of my best mates, Ellie Scottney, really good friends with her, world champion in 7 fights. For me, I think that's amazing. I've watched her sort of develop. We're on the amateurs together, and you know, she's just grown and grown and grown. She just took it by storm in the pros. I'm dead proud of her. You know, you got people like Caroline Dubois and that. She's real force. I think she's going to be like one of the real big names in women's boxing in years to come. You know, it's brilliant. Obviously, Katie Taylor and that's still knocking around. I know she lost the last fight, but what she's achieved in the sport is phenomenal. So, yeah, plenty of great women in the sport.
Yeah, you mentioned Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor there. How do you see the rematch with Chantel Cameron going?
I think pretty much the same, really. If not, maybe a Chantel Cameron stoppage. I mean, going into the first fight, I was dead set on Katie winning because I was such a big fan of her, sort of thing, and probably their heart ruled ahead a little bit there. But after watching how easy Chantel beat her, a bit surprised they're having a rematch, to be fair, because it was so one-sided. But yeah, I can see size plays a massive factor as well. But Chantel's obviously a very good boxer as well, so I can see it being very much the same.
Yeah. And just finally, do you have a message for your fans who have followed your career and what they can expect October the 6th?
Yeah, just a massive thank you to obviously all my fans, supporters, and sponsors and that as well, because it wouldn't be possible without any of them. And they make my life a lot easier. And it's brilliant to see people who want to come watch me box. You know, it's a nice feeling. Everybody's coming there to watch you. So thank you so muit'd be an action-packed night.
Brilliant. Well, good luck for October the 6th. I will be there, so it'd be good to catch up with you after the fight. If that's all right with you.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thank you for your time, Emma. And like I said, good luck.
Thank you.